Hello? Can you hear me now? I did not have my mic on. Looks like it's working now. How's it? Is that out of frame? Yes. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the regular Tuesday live stream. Peanut's going to start freaking out now because I've got the camera off of her. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments below. There's cat hair everywhere. Yeah, good to see you again. So busy time. It's super busy. I don't know if anybody saw my post. Well, I know some people did, but I don't know if you all saw the post this morning. I'm doing 4 live streams in the next 9 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday this week, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. What's going on? Tuesdays are regular Tuesdays, just like today, regular live stream. I'll be here for at least 2 hours, I'd say. I always say 2. Sometimes it goes to 3. Tomorrow is Doc Party number 2. So that's the live stream that I do just for the channel members. Gives them a little better chance or, better chance, I guess. A little more intimate setting. I show up with a gin and ginger ale. Just a little more intimate. There's far fewer people, so people can get their questions answered more quickly. So that's what I do every 2 weeks on Wednesdays. Then next week, regular Tuesday live stream, but Wednesday, I'm going to have a special guest on, and this one's going to be a little different than my other ones. It's going to be my son. He's going to call in from Halifax. He's around a 30-minute drive away from where I am, and he's doing live streaming and gaming, and he's getting into YouTube, and it'll just be a fun conversation, comparing notes, a 50-something-year-old YouTuber and a 20-something-year-old YouTuber, and you guys can listen in and ask questions. He's got a different take on things than I do, so that should be fun. We'll see how that goes. And then at some point in the future, I'm going to make a video with my daughter. So that'll be a couple weeks out yet. We haven't even really decided what we're going to talk about yet, but she's agreed to do that. So yeah, that's what's going on here. I have before I get right into it, let me know where you're watching from. I'm always interested in that. Wow, we got 73 people in here already. That is cool. Just so you guys know, so I had a question was it yesterday? I think yesterday. Somebody, I forget who it is, I apologize, but asked if I would go into more details on live streaming and how to do it. And I've mentioned this before that I should make a video on that. I am working on that right now, and I am hopeful for Friday to have that out. It might end up getting pushed to Monday if I can't do it in time. But that's the plan, to do a live stream, to teach you guys how to do live streaming in a video. So where was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought. That happens. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, it would help if you put QQQ in front of the question in the live chat. That way, perhaps I won't miss it. No guarantees, though. I still may miss it. Get a lot of comments in here, which is amazing. I love it. I see Lee is in here. Thanks, Lee, for stopping in again. Lee is moderator here in the live chat. Helps get rid of any nefarious people that might show up and comment inappropriately. It doesn't happen that often, but every once in a while it does. So thank you, Lee, for that. Let me just see who is here, and then I'll get into, I'll tell you really quick what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the new mentorship program, which applications are open basically as soon as I tell you they're open. There is a link below to the application form, anybody who is interested, but I'm going to go over that today, what all is included in that. You might want to listen to that before you jump in and apply, and that's going to be by application only. And so I'll get into that. Tomorrow's Doc Party, talked about that. I'm going to talk about the last 3 videos that I did, and I'm going to show you the graphs, basically how well they did. A couple didn't do so well. One was a test that I told you about the test, and so I'm going to go over that, talk about live streaming, and Yeah, coaching as well. So, and of course, to answer any of your questions. And I see we have a super chat here. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Rodolfo Bandera. Thank you very much, Rodolfo. Really appreciate that. And you have a question, so I'll jump right to that one. What camera and lens did you use in the YouTube Changed My Life video? Let me just really quick remind myself. I want to take a look at the YouTube Changed My Life. Okay, I was outside. Yeah, so that was, I'll just show you really quick. That was this video here. YouTube Changed My Life.
Changed my life.
I used my iPhone 16 Pro Max. That's it, just the lens that comes with that. The 1X lens, okay? There's 3 lenses on the back of the iPhone. Right here. In fact, I use this very setup, just like this. Plus, you know, I added the DJI microphone. Sorry, you can't see me. I added the DJI microphone. The receiver plugs in here, and the mic goes here. You can see it there, here on my shirt, or on my sweater, right there, the mic. I just use this. I just use my iPhone. The rear camera, okay, there are 3 lenses. See the 3 black circles there? Those are the 3 lenses. If you look at the camera app here on the front of your phone, you'll see 1X, 2X, and 5X are the options on this phone. Those equate to the 3 lenses. Now, of course, you can pinch and zoom between those presets if you want, but you get the best quality if you just press one of those buttons. So I use the 1X, and that's it. That's all I used. I added a little bit of contrast when I edited the video, just to make the colors pop a little bit more. And actually in that video, there wasn't much as far as colors go anyways, just the blue in my hat. So that might be a little bluer, and the blue in my shirt might be a little bluer than normal. But other than that, it's a pretty gray, brown landscape. The leaves haven't started to grow here yet. They're just about to start. Some buds, I've seen some buds on some trees, but give us another 2 months or so, and the landscape will look totally different. So yeah, Rodolfo, that's all I used. So I hope that helps. And thank you again for the super chat. Now let me go right into the chats, and I'm going to scroll down here, see who's here. Angela, good day. How you doing? Tiff's take. How you doing, Tiff? Leslie, darling, good morning. I just answered an email from you, Leslie, so check your email there. Almost retired in paradise. Hola, how you doing? Let's see who we got. Hey, Tiff, how are you? Early greets, prodigal aquarist. Thanks for stopping in. Hello, Allison, how you doing? And Keith is here. Rob the Maritimer's here. There you go. That's me. That's what happens when I type in something in the chat. It shows up here as well, and I'm able to display it. If anybody's curious, I use Ecamm Live as the software I use that allows me to put messages up here like that. But you can do it in StreamYard too, I believe. Well, I know you can. I used to use StreamYard years ago. Restream, I believe you could do that as well. But yeah, I'm about to get more into the whole live streaming thing because a lot of you have asked me questions about that. So yeah, what else we got here? Dr. Alfredo, ready to learn something new. Awesome. And we have Robin from Follow the Sun Tarot. Tarot or Tarot? I never know when I see, I'm sorry. Pulled that trigger and posted my first 10-minute video and working on others. Thanks for your videos and encouragement. Awesome. Congratulations, Robin. Way to go. Now get working on your second one. And watch your first one back. Just see what you think of it. You're probably going to cringe. Everybody typically does when they watch their own videos, like, oh my God, I hate it and whatever. But you can learn from it. Try to think of something that, like when you're watching it, what could I have done better? Like, what do I really not like? And maybe try to correct that. Oh, did I miss something here? I think I missed, what do we got here? Oh, Lee gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Lee. So what that means is 5 people at random here in the chat will be gifted a monthly membership to my channel. So 1 month. And yeah, if you decide you want to keep going, you can renew that in a month. But for now, you're a member, and you can participate in tomorrow's dock party. Just a name I came up with for the private or the members only live stream, and that was fun. I think we had 19 people in it last week, which was awesome. I see we got 108 people in here now. Wow, that's cool. Michelle, hello, how you doing? Share the English here. Hi, how are you? Allison has a question. How do you send the early notification out? I'm new and tried a live, but nobody knew I was going live. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, you have to schedule your live. If you just go live, then nobody will be notified ahead of time. Kind of obvious, but if you schedule it at say at least an hour in advance, I usually schedule mine. I used to schedule mine the night before. Sometimes I've done it a couple days before, but now what I've been, I guess the schedule I've kind of found myself in, I usually do it 4 to 5 hours, like in the morning. So this morning I scheduled today's. And as long as you schedule it ahead of time, a few hours ahead of time, then, now I don't know exactly what the intervals are. I know for sure 30 minutes before, people will be notified if they've chosen to be notified. So you know how when you subscribe to a channel, you have the option of clicking that bell icon and whether or not you want to receive notifications or not, right? You can subscribe to a channel and choose not to receive notifications. So if people do that, then they may not receive notifications. But if they're browsing on YouTube, if you're going live within the hour or within the half an hour, you may see it pop up, in your choices of videos to watch, and you may see Rob the Maritimer is going live in 30 minutes, and then you can click there. If you click there, you'll go to this page where you're watching me now, and there would be a little notify button that you can click on that. Even if you're not set up to get notifications, you can click on that to be notified when I go live. And then YouTube will send out a notification. And I will often get 2 notifications because I have it set up in my YouTube app, but I also have it set up in my YouTube Studio, I think. So sometimes I get double notifications, but anyways, that's kind of the way that works. But the big thing is to schedule it in advance. And then, but there's some other things you can do. If you schedule it in advance, you can also put out a short little video, just a regular YouTube video of you talking to the camera, and you can say, for those who are interested, I'm going to be going live in a couple days. So watch for that link. And if you want to make sure you don't miss it, subscribe to my channel and make sure you select to get notifications, and then join me live. So there's things like that you can do to try to encourage people to subscribe and to get notified of your live streams. So I hope that helped, Allison. Good luck with that. Daniel from Brazil, hello. Allison is in Texas. Welcome. That's good. Awesome. Michelle, hello, cute little kitty cat. She's still in the same spot. She's turned her back to me now, though. I guess I'm talking too loud. I do feel kind of amped up. Maybe this is my second energy drink today. Maybe I should cut down. I do need to cut down on these. I know. But not today. Maybe I just calm down a little bit. All right. Share the English is in PEI. That's not very far from here, like a 3-hour drive. Cool. Fellow Maritimer. Awesome. Angela, favorite classroom with Rob. Appreciate that. Thank you, Angela. Canada A. Yes, Canada A. You love Canadians. Awesome. Thank you. I'm not sure where you are. Not sure where you are. Actually, I think you can actually check in your YouTube analytics to see where most of your viewers are coming from. And I know, I think I get it. It's over 50% are from the United States. 50% of my viewers. So that's kind of cool to know. And I think is it Australia that's second? No, or Great Britain and Canada. Canada might be second or third, even though I am in Canada. It's only second or third on my on my list in terms of people who watch me. Oh, you took a cruise through Canada in the fall. That's cool. Through Canada? So you must have gone up the St. Lawrence River, maybe to Quebec City or Montreal or as far as Toronto, maybe even. Very cool. Jeannie, hello Jeannie, how you doing? Good to see you again. Looking forward to some tips on growing my stagnant channel. Well, hopefully, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, I'd love to help you out. Let's see, who else we got? We've got James in the house. David's up, peeps. Holly Von Wall joining for the first time today on the live. Awesome. Welcome. Allison's doing laundry. Poor you. That's too bad. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. Lori Lee. How you doing, Lori? Good to see you. First time joining. Another first time member. That's awesome. Lee, good Tuesday afternoon to everybody. Wow, we've got a lot of chats coming in. 143 people. That's a record, I think. I think it's a record. Awesome. Awesome. I hope you guys get lots of value from this. I'll try not to spend too much time in the chat, and I'll just look for questions. Oh, but I like this. Joey Sox, second day of retirement. Awesome, Joey. Have fun with that. Now you got all kinds of time to make videos, right? Awesome. Debbie, first live in Kentucky. Awesome. Cool. All right. Where are we going here? I'm just scrolling here. Hello, Joey. Hello, Stacy. Rodolfo. Jeannie, hello. Oh, this is when I turned on my audio, I think. Good afternoon, Mountain Finance. Let's see. Had the volume turned down, thought it was my end. Yeah, well, I had my microphone turned off, so that's definitely my end. Anthony in North Carolina, awesome. Strapped in a chair, donating platelets. So you have a captive audience. That sounds like a lot of fun. Good for you, though. That's awesome. I'm doing well, thanks, Michelle. Thank you very much for asking. Writing code. James is writing code and generating content. All righty. Cat's name is Peanut. For anybody who does not know, and she is down here. Now, there you go. You want to say hi? I'll put the camera there. That's my, but I'm not going to leave it there. That's my iPhone. So it actually connects to my MacBook since I'm streaming from my MacBook wirelessly. It's pretty cool for another camera angle, and that's portable, so I can kind of walk around my office with that. So if anybody ever has questions about like how I have stuff hooked up, where my lights are, or stuff like that, I can just switch to that camera and go for a walk and show you. So it's quite handy. Boomer 6K Solo Ox from the UK, hello. Sophia, hello, good to see you. Wow, 4 live streams. Oh yeah, in the next 9 days, yes. But they're fun. They go by pretty quick. All right, looking for a question here. Let's see. Okay. Bluefin watching from Newfoundland. That's not too far from here. Hello from Calgary. You did 3 videos in a week. You're knackered. Martin, awesome. Good job. That is a lot. That is a lot. I remember when, so I don't know if you guys, how many of you saw my video from, which one was it? Friday. Yeah, how YouTube changed my life in 4 months. Basically, I described the first 4 months after I basically said, from now on, I'm doing 3 videos a week and 1 live stream a week. Now, it took me 2 months to get ready for that. Actually, it took me longer than that. I had been posting a little bit on and off for 3 years, learning some stuff, but I had imposter syndrome. I didn't think I knew enough to do it. I was not good on camera, or I didn't feel like I was. I was not fast at video editing. So I just said, you know what, in order to make this work, I need to post a lot. Let's just do this. And so I came up with a plan. Anyways, you guys can watch that video from last Friday. It's doing quite well, actually, which is nice. Yeah, I did 3 videos a week, and I still try to, but sometimes it's hard. I don't always get that done. But good for you. Michelle lives in Oregon, but she's from England. Very good. Awesome. Lori Lee, Lake Winnipesaukee. I say that right? Winnipesaukee. That sounds like somewhere between Winnipeg and Milwaukee? I don't know. Sounds to me like it's probably upper Midwest U.S. somewhere. I've never been to it though. I used to live in Wisconsin for 6 months for work, so I'm a little familiar with that area, but I've never been to Winnipeg. Believe it or not. In the UK. Very good. First time watching from Texas. Charleston, South Carolina. We've got Georgia, US. We've got Iowa. Ontario. I love New Yarn. I like that name. Okay, now. South Central Kentucky. Awesome. Now, I'm just going to take another drink. Okay, there you go. Allison did a live stream by chance, but nobody knew, so I talked to myself. Awesome. That's great experience. I think I had, when I first went live, I might have had 2 people. I know I had my son and maybe 1 other. And then that was a few years before last year when I decided to really go for it. But then last year, a year ago, when I went live for the first time in a while, I had 4. So not many. But the thing is, even with nobody watching, it's the fastest video you'll ever make, right? Because a live stream turns into a video on demand, like a regular uploaded YouTube video, as soon as you're done. Now it's a video people can watch. So if you go into it with that kind of mindset, make sure you have something ready to talk about or to demonstrate or whatever, and like have a plan. And depending on what your live stream is, maybe that's all your live stream is going to be. But like for me, I like to open it up for questions, and I answer questions throughout the live stream. So another hiccup coming, or burp or something. Anyway, sorry. So I'll have something prepared, but question and answer period typically will take up most of that time. So it's nice when that starts happening and the questions start coming in, you can answer and just kind of chat with people. That's nice. But have something prepared. You're talking to nobody, but that's okay. You're making a video and you're practicing talking to the camera. So that is all awesome. And I swear that by me doing live streams, forcing myself to do it weekly, that has leveled up my ability to talk to the camera and not have it feel extremely weird. Okay, because it's not natural. Looking at a camera and talking like you're talking to a person is not normal. It's not natural. It takes practice. You can learn how to do it, but all the learning in the world isn't going to help you more than just doing it, just practicing. So yeah, good for you. Good for you. Just talk to yourself. That's awesome. Norma from Toronto. How you doing, Norma? Norma? Sorry, I called you Norman. I didn't mean that, sorry. How you doing, Norma? Good to see you here. Where was I? Oh, squirrel. Yeah, there's all kinds of squirrels running around in my head too. Watching from France while crocheting. That's awesome. California. We got New Zealand. I need to get the stones to do my first video. Always delete it because I think it's dumb. Okay, yeah, I get that. But I mean, I had this little conversation with or there's a thread in Creators Cove today where somebody was talking about this very thing. Like, made a video, thinks it's horrible. Somebody else chimed in and said, yeah, you don't want to upload garbage to YouTube. That's no good. Try a little bit. And I get that. But I'm kind of in the camp of, do the best you can and upload it. Okay? Even if it's the best you can at that time, great. Because the danger is if you decide you don't like it and you just throw it away and you're going to try to do better next time, then you try to do better next time and you still don't like it, you're apt to throw that one away too. And before you know it, months go by and you haven't posted a video. So, I like the idea of posting a video, even though it's not perfect and you feel like you could have done better in certain places. If you post that video and then force yourself to watch it, you will, knowing that other people can see it now, you're going to be extra critical and you're going to, things will sink in. It's almost like the whole practice thing. You don't learn something unless you practice it over and over again. Well, if your video is posted online and you're watching it and you see that it's live and people can see it, now you're a little bit more invested and you're thinking, okay, no, I really don't want to do that again. So now that's something you've learned for when you make your second video. Then make your second video. Any mistakes you made in your first ones, or not any, but some mistakes you made in your first one, you won't make again. Right? So that's why I like the idea of just post your video. Like, don't worry don't spend too much time revising, throwing away, redoing, and so on. Just, I like uploading the video. Upload the video. My first videos are still on my channel. You can go back and watch them. They're horrible. I cringe when I see them. I'm not going to go back and watch it now. I've done it too many times, but but it is cool to see how far you've come too. You can look back, a couple of years later, or even 10 videos later, look back and see how much better you are than you were. So that's always good. And that's good for people to see too. People who subscribe to your channel like to see the progression that you've gone through, right? The different stages of being a YouTuber that you've gone through. People like to see that. So yeah, if you go to a channel, and I think virtually any channel you go to, if you go back and look at their first video, they're not very good. Now, some people might delete them and make sure they only show really good ones, but not me. And not a lot of people. So, yep, get those stones, Joey. Get the stones and make your first video. And post it. All right. Oh, here's a question. Oh, I think I've already answered that from Allison. How do you send notifications for a live ahead of time? So hopefully I've given you your answer to that. Yeah, schedule ahead of time, and then it's up to people who need to subscribe to your channel to get notified. Something else you could do though is a community post. Write a post. Just say, I'm going to go live today. Anybody's interested, going live at whatever, and even include the link. Once you've set up your live stream, once you've scheduled it, like a couple hours ahead of time, you can then, go to that page and get the link, get the URL for that live stream, and then go to your community posts, write a post and say, here's the link, check out my live. I'll be live in a couple hours or whatever it is. And that's another little advertisement that may pop up on your subscribers' YouTube page, right? Where posts often pop up. So just another idea. Cool knot. Yeah, starting to get got a few marine jokes after I made that knot video. That was kind of fun. And no, it did not do very well, and I'm going to talk about that. Oh, my best friend from Nairobi, Kenya, now in the house. 3 cups of coffee. Go for it. Welcome. iPhone 16 Pro Max camera is 0.5, 1, and 5. Is it really? I thought there were. I thought I thought it was 1, 2, and 5, and 0.5. I'm just going to take a quick look here. See what this, and I can show you. Yep, so I don't know. Can you see that? I have to hide my face and try not to get the glare. That's what I see. So 0.5, 1, 2, 5. Yeah, so, but there's only 3. So that's 4 options, but there's only 3 lenses. So one of them is done optically. So maybe that's the 2x. If you're saying 0.5, 1, and 5 are so the 2x must be the optical one. Sorry, not optical, digital. They're digitally zooming to get that one if it doesn't have a dedicated lens for it. But anyway, no, thank you for that, 0.5. I don't usually use the 0.5. That's the extra wide angle one. Kind of distorts things off to the sides, but for like landscape shots, it's great to get like a lot of things. Or if you have like a large family gathering around a table, use the 0.5 one and get everybody without having to back up so far. Oh, did I miss? I missed a super chat from Life Worth Living. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Life Worth Living. Hey, Rob, watching on our TV, but decided to get on the computer, and thank you for all your help. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And I believe I've got another one here. I do. See, I'm not very good at these, but Stacy Pittman, super chat. Thank you, Stacy. Says $5 for you and $5 for Peanut. She really appreciates that. I'll go out and get her some treats for that. Thank you very much. And Joey Socks has a super thanks. Thank you very much, Joey. Is it time for me to change that little graphic up? Someone once told me they don't like the foghorn, or their animals or their dogs don't like the foghorn. I can change that up. All right, let's see. Scrolling. Gen X Gal, how you doing? Good to see you. DeMaria Reacts, I'm pretty new to your channel. Welcome. Sean the Great Gamer, guess I'm new here. Welcome. Welcome. Hope everyone is doing well. Greetings from the middle of nowhere in Arizona. Patrick Ross, awesome. Arizona's beautiful. Love Arizona. Latina Life Texas, loving the channel. Awesome. Hope you're learning lots. Good to be here. Journey to Healing. Matthew Pate, or Pate, I would say. Sorry. If I ever get anybody's name pronounced wrong, I really apologize. I do the best that I can. Do you ever utilize the remix tool for creating shorts to send people back to related videos? I do this to test on my channel. I posted one early from a main video, had 700 plus views in like 12 minutes. Wow. No, I have not used that, the remix tool. I haven't made, I made shorts back in, I want to say September, October was the last time I've done shorts, and I used a program called Opus Clip. I just plugged in my main video and then I ran it through Opus Clip and it picked out 10 or 15 shorts. It made them for me automatically with the text and everything. And that was pretty cool. I posted them I think one a day or sometimes two a day for X number of days. But I've never really noticed much of a, I mean, at the time I was thinking, why don't, maybe use shorts to try to reach a different audience, to try to let them know about my channel, and maybe I get some new subscribers that way. And I got a few, but not a lot. And the extra time required to make those just didn't seem worth it to me. I look at shorts and long form videos as two completely different things, with two completely different audiences. Sure, there's going to be overlap, but people who are watching shorts are typically, they're scrolling pretty quickly through them, and I've done that too. Like maybe like Instagram Reels, I'll just kind of scroll through them if I'm bored or if I don't like what's on TV, and just for entertainment, right? I don't ever subscribe to channels that I see in those. Now, maybe some people do, but I don't. But YouTube to me is different. I go to YouTube if I want to learn something, and if I like the presenter, I'll subscribe if I feel like I can learn something else from them. So to me, it's totally different. So my focus is long form. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about shorts. If that remix tool works for you, then awesome. I mean, YouTube is all about trying things, right? And seeing what works for you. Analyze it, right? Like see whatever works, double down on that and do more of what works and less of what doesn't. Okay. Ecamm, good to know. Yeah, I use Ecamm Live. It's only available for Macs though. But that's what I use. So it's software that you download, Ecamm Live, whereas something like Restream or StreamYard is browser-based. You don't download software. You just, the browser, you get an account, and through your account you connect to YouTube and you stream through the browser. So it works a little bit differently. Hello, Robin Boudreau. How you doing? The Drakes, hello. Good to see you. Argentina's here. Hello, Oscar. Hello, Alan from North Carolina. Roro Land, Cincinnati, Ohio. Brand new subscriber here, enjoying your content. Welcome. The Urban Witch, I made it today to today's live, ready to listen. Awesome. Welcome. Matthew Pate, I'm excited, on the way to 500 subs. Awesome. Congratulations. That is great. Bridget's Journal, hello. You have been so helpful through my whole YouTube journey. Wanted to say thank you. I'm still learning every day, work in progress here. I'm still learning every day too. You won't ever stop learning with YouTube, which is why it's super important to enjoy it. That's what I like to say. But yeah, that's great. Awesome. Good luck to you, Bridget, on your journey. By the way, today's my 10th anniversary. YouTube anniversary? Because I think you look older than 10. So I'm thinking you mean YouTube anniversary? All right, what am I doing here? Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry. Oh, I just scrolled ahead. Okay, there we go. Oh, here's a question. All in check. I am new to YouTube and tried OBS for streaming. Ran into, yeah, sorry, I missed that one. OBS is probably the most popular streaming software, and it's free, and it's available for PC or Mac. And I've used that as well before. But you say, ran into some issues with camera freeze in preset view and a lot of lag. Should you recommend OBS? You mentioned you're using Ecamm. Is it expensive? So I switched from OBS to Ecamm. The main reason for me was because of the way I'm displaying your chat message right now. I really wanted to be able to do that because I envisioned my live streams going like this. I'm answering questions, and people generally like it when their name and avatar and question is popped up on the screen. So I want to do that while I'm answering questions. So to me, that was important. With OBS, you can't do that natively. There was a third-party application that I downloaded that allowed me to do it, but it didn't always work. Like it worked one week, and then the next week I couldn't get it to work. The week after that it did, and then it didn't. So I just kind of threw my hands up, and like so OBS is free, right? And I think what was going on is that OBS will often come out with updates, and if you update your OBS, then perhaps you also have to update any third-party software, and just something wasn't working right there. And so I just finally, you know what, like, as is often the case, you do get what you pay for. OBS is great. Like a lot of people use it very successfully. It's widely used in the gaming industry, live streaming and gaming. And when Liam's here next week, he'll talk a little bit about that because he's done that mostly through Twitch, but now he's starting to live stream on YouTube as well. So yeah, OBS, it's used a lot, but it's just you need a little more technical knowledge to get it to work right. Things aren't necessarily packaged well, whereas Ecamm is something you got to buy, you pay for it, and it's just it's packaged better, and so that's why I like it. As far as, is it expensive? I believe there's a free plan, but I started out with the $20 a month plan. I have since upgraded to the $40 a month plan, which allows me to, the only reason I did that was because I wanted to be able to host special guests in my live streams. And I've done that several times, and I'm going to do it next week with Liam. He's going to call in. It's got Zoom call integration, and then if somebody calls in, if I set up a meeting in Zoom, they call into that, I can then add them into my Ecamm. So you can only do that with the $40 a month plan. I think it's called the Pro plan. But for the regular plan, it's $20 a month, and that's all I used up until, I think, November is when I first started doing my special guest live streams. So yeah, there you go. $20 a month is where it starts for the paid version. So I hope that helps. All right. Pick me. Oh, thanks for the membership. That's cool. Yeah, so yeah, just so you know, when somebody gifts memberships like that, I had to look it up because when Lee did that, like he's done that both like 2 weeks in a row now. So thanks again, Lee. But yeah, when he did it last week, it was like how does this even work? So after the live stream, I went on ChatGPT and I asked like, how does that work? So it's random. So I think it's whoever is in the live chat who is not already a channel member. If somebody gifts 5 memberships, then 5 people are selected by YouTube at random. So there's no way to pick anybody individually, I guess. Not that I know of, anyway. All righty. Looking for another question here. Actually, before we get to another question, let me talk a little bit. What are we at? We've been at this 40 minutes already. I want to tell you about the mentorship program. Is that what I should talk about next? I've already mentioned the dock party tomorrow. So for members, same time, just different day. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 2 o'clock here in Halifax is when I go on for those lives. And it'll be, I thought it might be short. I think I was 2 hours last week as well. So as long as you guys, stick around and have questions for me, I'll stick around and answer them. Well, within reason. So I talked about that. Mentorship program. So just so you know where that's coming from, that's basically, I'm expanding the coaching that I do. That's one of the greatest things that's come out of this. I love these coaching calls. So people are signing up for one-on-one Zoom coaching calls, and I've been offering that since November or December, and having a lot of fun with it. And people seem to be genuinely pleased, helping a lot of people out. And I've done, 30 or 40 or so calls now, and it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. But that's 1 hour and then done. And now some people have come back for additional help. But what this mentorship program is, and I'm going to share my screen with you here. Let's pop that up there now. So first of all, anybody who's interested, there is a link in the description below to this page here. And it's basically an application form for anybody who's interested. But before you go there, let me just explain what it is. It's a 15-week program where we meet one-to-one, like one-on-one in Zoom meetings, 50-minute calls. They start at the top of the hour and go for 50 minutes. If we go over a little bit, that's no big deal, as long as I don't have another call like immediately after. And there's going to be 8 calls so it's every 2 weeks. But I say that, this is what I struggled with a little bit. At first I was thinking 8 weeks, a call a week. And then I'm thinking, well, you know what? That's awful quick. Maybe people need a little bit more time than that. So I've basically opened it up. It's whatever you need it to be. So let me just go through this. So it's anybody who wants basically me to hold your hand more than what you get from these live streams and the coaching calls. And I'll develop a plan customized for you if you're interested. The idea is to transform you into a creator, a successful creator, or have you on your way to being successful. Obviously, I can't guarantee any revenue that you can earn, and I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to be monetized. Hopefully some of you will be, but I've got no control over that. I am going to give you homework if you're in this program. That's the whole idea. At the end of every call, there will be homework that I'd give, and you'd have a week or 2 weeks or whatever things to work on. If you think you might be interested, complete the application form below. So what's included? 8 Zoom calls over the 15 weeks. So that's a call every 2 weeks. And I'm anticipating I'm able to start next week. Okay. So if people are interested and want to start next week, then great. The first call is like a deeper discovery, goal setting, where to start. And then it's going to be customized week to week. It's going to depend on how you're doing week to week as to what we talk about. Any questions that pop up that you have throughout the week, we can talk about. And then the last call is like a wrap up, final questions, next step. It's all very open. Okay. So it's hard to really write down a specific, program with exact steps, because everyone's going to be starting at different spots, different niches. Everybody, people probably have different goals, right? Some people want to set it up as a business. Other people might want to not worry about that so much, right? So it all depends on what you're looking for. So personalized strategy, content planning strategy, these are just some of the things we can talk about. Unlimited video reviews. So that's something I've added. So throughout this whole process, the 15, 16 weeks, whenever you make a video and, I will review it for you. You can send it to me before you upload it to YouTube or after. Doesn't matter. I would probably suggest after, because if I critique it or tell you what I like and don't like or whatever, what could be improved before you upload it, then, you might never, just what I said earlier, you might never get off the ground, right? You're always going to be trying to revise and get perfect, right? So, so that's that. Let's see, direct messaging. So between calls, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me and I'll answer you. I'd like to say I'd answer you same day. I mean, if the question comes in the morning, then yeah, I'll answer you that day. Maybe even that morning, might be within an hour or two. But I put in there within 24 hours just to give myself a little bit of leeway in case I'm really busy. The program is flexible. So the idea is it's $1,600 for the 15 weeks. So that's for the 8 calls and the homework and everything in the middle. But this is, I'm calling this a beta program. This is the first time I'm offering this. So quite often when you go and you want to look at, let's say you're looking into joining a course or a membership or get coaching like this. A lot of times you'll get to a landing page and it's going to be a super long landing page and all kinds of testimonials and stuff like that. I don't have that because nobody's gone through this. I've not offered this before. I did think about reaching out to the people I've done coaching with and asking for testimonials, but I didn't do that. No reason other than time. I wanted to get this launched. I may add those, right? I might reach out if I've done coaching with you before. I may reach out to you to see if you might want to put together a little video testimonial, and then I put it on a page like this. So that's kind of the way I see this evolving, and let that be kind of a learning thing for you guys. If somebody asked me a couple days ago, can you talk a little bit about how you create courses and sell courses and stuff like that? I guess my answer to that and this thing here is you've got to start somewhere, and you can always upgrade things as you go, including websites where you discuss it. So I can make a new website later and add testimonials. But my point is, what the price that I'm offering right now is the lowest it will ever be. And the reason is because, well, unless nobody's interested. If nobody's interested, then I may have to revisit this. I've kind of priced this based on the fact that, if I take on 5 people, which is 5 extra calls a week, that's going to take away 5 slots where I could be doing coaching calls, right? Or where I could be making videos. So this is going to make me busier. So I feel like I want to start with 5 people. And it's got to be 5 people that I feel like I can help. Okay, so it's not a first come first serve thing. It's not a, if you're a channel member, you're going to get dibs over people who aren't. I can't really do that because I want to look at who's interested, and I want to make sure that you're willing to put in the work to to make this happen, and I can help you through that. So that's kind of the way. And I don't want to take anyone through this program if I don't think I can help them, because in the end, sure, I might make a little bit of money doing it, but at the end, if I don't have a satisfied client at the other end and who's very happy with it and on their way, then that's not good, right? I'm trying to grow a business here, so I think the best way to do that is through positive testimonials. So that's what I'm after. So. $1,600, and so that's 2 payments of $800 a month apart, basically $800 before you start and then $800 before your 5th call. So not a month apart, it'd be 2 months apart. But I did put in there that if somebody does want to do this in 8 weeks as opposed to 16, if you've got all the time in the world and you can pump out videos like crazy and you want to do this quicker, no problem. The price is the same for the same number of calls. There's no extra price for accelerating it or discount because you're doing it quicker. It's just I just want that to be easy. 800, 800. And also, if you get into this and you find, you know what, I need more than 2 weeks. I need 3 or even 4 weeks before my next call. That's no problem. We'll just push it off, and there's no extra charge for that either. You're basically paying per call is the way it works out to be. And then the last thing about the pricing, which is written down here below, extension. If after you get, let's say, 6 calls into the 8 weeks or the 16 weeks, you decide, you know what, I like where we're going here, but I feel like I'm not going to be done after 8 and I want to add 4 more, we can do that. And same price, okay, so another $800 for another 4 calls or 8 weeks, basically. Okay, so that's the way I've got that set up. Pricing, I try to make it super simple. And then the application form. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself, your channel URL, what's your channel about, who's your target audience, what are your YouTube goals, that's important. What do you feel like your biggest challenges are? What do you need the most help with? What do you hope to get out of the program? That might be a redundant question, but I put it in there. Are you open to receiving constructive feedback and implementing changes? Is that still, let me refresh this page. I thought I removed that question, but no, it's there. Anything else you'd like me to know? Okay, so there you go. If you're interested, you can fill out that form. And my plan is in the next couple of days. So I'm going to put out a video tomorrow morning, and it's basically going to advertise this mentorship program. So not one of my regular videos. It's going to be a video that's not going to do very well at all. It's only people who are interested in this are going to really see that. And that's kind of an example, like what I usually like to say. Not all of your video, you can't always make viral videos, right? Not all of your videos are going to do really, really well. And sometimes you know when a video is not going to do well, like when I tie knots in my backyard, right? I knew that wasn't going to do well, and it didn't. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So yeah, I'm going to put out a video tomorrow about this. And then after that, well, now, if any of you are interested, perhaps you're filling out the application form. And then after tomorrow's video goes out, perhaps I'll get some more application forms, and then I'll look at those. And then the idea is I will go through them, and I will reach out to you. Okay, if you've applied, you'll hear back from me, whether I think it's a good fit or it's not. And if it is, then the next step is to set up a short little Zoom call, like just a 10, 15 minutes. It's not call 1. It's not the start of the program. It's more a discovery thing, like just to learn a little bit more about each other, right? To see if it works. Like once we get on a Zoom call, maybe you don't like the way I talk on a Zoom call, and you might change your mind. Say, yeah, you know what? On second thought, I don't think this is for me. No problem. And I'll answer any questions you have. And then at that point, I'd say, like, if you're really interested in this, we can schedule your first one, and I'll send you a link to make your first payment before that first call. And it's also for me to figure out when is a good time for you. Like, it's no good for me to pick 5 people who all want to talk to me at 5 o'clock on a Monday every week, right? So that's not going to work. I need to be able to spread them out. And so I'm going to offer basically times and days. I'm going to be flexible. I feel like I probably am going to have to offer some times on the weekends, and that's no problem. Probably not going to offer that many on the weekends. But yeah, I want to be able to help people no matter where they are in the world, Australia, California, East Coast, North America, UK, wherever. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So that's the plan. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. There's no form here for questions, but you can always ask questions in the chat now. I'll answer them. And once this live stream is over, you can leave comments in the comments section below, and I'll answer questions there as well. Okay, so there we go. That is the mentorship program. And we'll see how that goes. I think that'll be fun. Just an extension of my coaching calls and a little bit more customized longer term. We can see what we can do in 16 weeks for you. So let me get back into the chat here. Any other questions? Here's one from Gen X Gal. If you only use your phone to record, should you use it to go live? Or can you use your laptop and just use the webcam for the camera? Let me read that again. If you only use your phone to record, should you use it to go live, or can you use your laptop and just use the webcam for the camera? You can do that. The webcams in laptops typically aren't very good quality, so I'd look into that. I'd maybe do a test to see how it looks. Yeah, or you can, if your laptop is a MacBook, then you can connect your phone to it and wirelessly use this camera to go live. You can put this up above your MacBook. You could do it that way. So that's an option. Or if it's a PC-based laptop, you can get a pretty decent external webcam. I think Logitech makes some good ones. There's some options for doing that without spending too much money. So I hope that helped. Okay, looking for more questions. Here's a question. I started my channel a few weeks ago. I'm using ChatGPT, but I see your link to vidIQ. Is vidIQ better than ChatGPT? It's different. So vidIQ has more and more AI features in it, which is great. I like it for, I have the vidIQ Chrome extension installed on my computer in my browser. So that gives me like a score when I put in the title. And if I modify the title, it'll update the score. But I also use ChatGPT. I especially use ChatGPT to help with descriptions for my videos and to give me a list of tags for my descriptions or for my videos. And I also use ChatGPT to help with titles. I don't just rely on vidIQ in my browser. Maybe I'll start with something, but then I'll typically go to ChatGPT and I'll ask it, I'm making a video about blah. This is a title I'm considering. Can you give me 10 more options that might be better with click-through rate or something like that? Then it'll give me some options. Then maybe I'll pick one. Then I'll say, okay, I'm going to go with this one. Can you give me 5 or 10 options for text I can put in my thumbnail that go well with this title? So I do all that with ChatGPT. But vidIQ, I love the stats and stuff that you get with that from the extension. And there are some more keyword research tools and whatnot that you can do with the paid version of vidIQ, which is great. And I'm going to make a video on that in more detail at some point in the near future. I'm just not quite there yet. But yeah, no, they're both good. They're both good. Okay, just looking for more questions. How can you fix a background track while live streaming? You mean music? I'm not even sure what you mean. A background track? If that's what you're talking about, music, then you can download royalty-free music. From YouTube's library. That's safe to use. Or if you have an account with Epidemic Sound, which is what I use, you can download some of their music and have it playing in the background. Is that what you're talking about? Because you can do that. And you can do that safely if you have an account with them. Here's a question from John. I have 2 separate topics, dementia and Canadian politics. Should I have them both on the same YouTube channel? At first thought, I would say no, because they are completely different. And although there may be some overlap, it's probably only some, right? And think of it this way. Whenever you come out with a video, okay, if you come out with a video on one of those 2 topics, the first thing YouTube does is they test it on your subscribers, okay? How well does it do? How's the click-through rate looking? How is the retention looking? If it's doing really well, then YouTube will push it out to even more people who may not even be your subscribers, but perhaps they have similar tastes in videos as your subscribers who are clicking on the video, right? So if you put out a dementia video, let's say, then when that gets pushed out to all your subscribers, The ones who are subscribed to you for your Canadian politics may not click on that. So your click-through rates and all your analytics, your stats for that video will be not so good, and therefore YouTube won't push it out anymore. Okay, so that's the reason behind pick a niche and stick to it. But if there's more than one thing you want to talk about, I would suggest look at maybe 2 channels. The only way I would kind of deviate from that would be, you know, once you get more established, the more established you get, the more people may just be subscribing to see you and whatever you want to talk about, and not so much your topics. Okay, but I'm not there, and that was evidenced by my Bolin video. Let me just show you that, because that is quite telling. If I share my screen here again, and go to content. So here's a video, my 4th video ago, the truth about early YouTube growth. If I look at those analytics, that's a very average, for me, that's a very average video. See, this green line is right in the middle of the gray area. The gray area is typical for me, okay? So I've got this right at the end of the blue line. So typical in this period is between 4 and 6.6 thousand views. This video has 5,200 at that time, and that's after 8 days average. Okay, that's most of my videos look something like that. Let's go back. Now let's look at my how to tie a bowline video. All right, let's look at those stats. See the difference? People are not watching. So here after 6 days, 887 views, which, you know, great. That's a lot of views for some people, okay? But for my channel, the average at this point is 3.9 to 6.3 thousand, and this is way below that, all right? And you can go further into it and go to audience. Go to audience. So this is a nice graph to see how many of your viewers are returning and how many are new, okay? So the first day, 420 of the 425 viewers were returning, so subscribers. They've seen my videos before, now they're back. So they were probably notified, or this video popped up in their feed and they clicked and they watched it. Only 5 new viewers, okay? And then the next day, the new viewers, or the returning viewers went down, and it just never took off, okay? Subscribers, I lost 4 subscribers by making that video. Well, actually, you can click on it. Yep, 4. No new ones. I just lost 4. And that's people that are saying, I subscribed to this guy to learn about YouTube, and now he's trying to teach me how to tie a knot? No thanks. Unsubscribe. So that's what happened. But now, if I look at another one, the one that I put out last Friday, this one is completely different. It's doing really well. 12,000 views in just over 4 days. So if I go to the end here, typical is 3.7 to 5.8 thousand views after 4 days, 5 hours. And this one's at 12,000. And you can see what happens. Like, it kind of follows the gray line, but a little bit above it. At this point, it looked like it kind of spiked up a little bit, and then it's just kind of, it's still growing. And then, like, see how the angle changed right here and started going up faster? That's YouTube testing it out on more and more people, okay? Then leveled off, and now seems to be maybe even going up again. So if we go to our audience tab, now this always lags behind by a day, but you can see the new viewers are much higher than the last one, okay? So that's another way to look at it. Engagement, watch time, average view duration, the reach, the click-through rate. Nothing special about that one. Like that, mine is typically around there, 5-6%, something like that. So that's performing fairly normally. If I go back here, scroll down, the retention graph looks better than normal, okay? It's a little bit above, it's riding the top of the gray area, okay? There's always a drop in the beginning, and it says 68% of my viewers are still watching around the 30-second mark, which is typical. Okay, I find it very hard to get, like, I've seen 70, even 72% after 30 seconds. I don't know that I've ever had one go above that. So that's pretty good. Whereas if I go back, actually, if I go back to that not one, let's take a look at that retention graph. That actually doesn't look so bad, okay? But it's 58% of viewers still watching around the 30-second mark, which is below typical. Okay, actually, I thought that would be higher than that, but it's not. Anyway, yeah, there you go. I just thought I'd show you that. Sometimes it's nice to see how videos can typically perform. One other one that I wanted to show you, because I quite often get asked, what's an evergreen video? Okay, let me show you one. First of all, this one that I did yesterday, transfer videos, how to transfer a video from your iPhone to a hard drive. This hard drive here, or actually solid state drive, SSD. So I made a video on how to do that. It's not doing so well. After one day and 6 hours, it's below typical. But I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen because that's a very specific video to make. Okay, but it's so specific that it's the type of video that people may be searching for. Okay, most of my videos that do well are more generically titled. They're more the motivational, this is my experience with growing my YouTube channel. This is how I dealt with that. And you know what I mean? Those types of videos, like my how YouTube changed my life in 4 months. And I kind of walked through some stats for the 4 months. And it was generally a walk and talk video where I just kind of talked about it. For me, those are the videos that tend to do better. And I think that's what most of my subscribers are here to see, those types of videos. So why don't I do those types of videos all the time? There's a couple of reasons. A, you may get tired of them, but B, I feel like I do have to provide some additional value every so often. And it's also good to have a certain number of evergreen videos that may do really well in the future. Okay, and that's what I believe this one is going to be. An evergreen video. Time will tell, and I will show you when it happens, but right now it's not. But what could happen is this will keep going like this, and then all of a sudden it'll blast up through, and I'll show you one that has done that for me. And that's going way back to, I've got to go back to, I think it's September. It doesn't happen that often. Actually, I had one more recent, but this is probably the best one so far. This one, how to create a YouTube channel. Now, you can't see the beginning here anymore, but first 9 days. It might have been above typical, I don't know, but it started off the same way they always do, and then around here somewhere, that's a month and a half into it, it started to, the rate started to increase, and then increase and increase, and now it keeps going up. It's up to 160,000 views now instead of, topping out at 5 or 10,000 like normal. That's an evergreen video. Okay, and I've had a couple of those, and it's nice when they happen. So it's nice to have a mix of stuff your subscribers want to see all the time, and then just try something new every once in a while. But people searching for how to transfer videos from my iPhone to a hard drive. That's something that a lot of people might be interested in, not just my subscribers. So that might be a way to get new subscribers too to a channel. So anyways, I hope that helped. Now I'll go back to looking for more questions. Oh, am I using an NDI for the second camera? No, it's just Apple iPhone. This was the second camera. If I just press iPhone like that, there now you can see it's the second camera. I'm just holding it up. Not NDI. It's just it's Apple, and my MacBook's Apple. It connects wirelessly and seamlessly. It's real nice the way it does that. So not NDI. I've never used NDI. I've heard of it, but it's not something I've ever used. Sonic Man, Super Chat. Welcome. Thank you very much for the Super Chat. I really appreciate that. And your question is, can you take a moment and talk about your Synology setup? I'm running out of storage and thinking about making the leap to a NAS. Thanks. Yes, I can. So let me just, so if I go to Amazon DS, find this here. Okay, so that's the one. Okay. I was just going to share this with you here. So this is, actually, maybe I should force this to go to Amazon.com. Whoops. Try this again. Amazon.com. And we'll go DS1621 Plus. That's the one I have. And that's what it is. That's a Synology NAS. 6-bay NAS disk station DS1621 Plus. Now, you see this crazy high price. That's because it's already full of hard drives. This one doesn't have any hard drives in it. It's just a bay. So I have this, and of the 6 bays, I believe I have 4 or 5 drives. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I looked at it. But I have 16 terabyte drives in there and an 8 terabyte drive. And what it basically is, it's an external hard drive. And if you have a bank of hard drives, so again, I think I have 5 now. But anyway, I started with 3 16 terabyte drives, and I put it in a RAID configuration. And I apologize if this is over some of your heads, but just know that these drives are not SSDs like this. They're hard disk drives. So they have little spinning disks inside them. It means they're not as fast to get information from them and send information to them. But that's okay if it's just for backup. So if you have 3 16 terabyte drives, or 3 whatever, you want them to be the same size. And actually, no, they were 8s. Weren't they 8s when I started? Anyways, one of them is redundant. Okay, so if I have 3 16s, I can only add up 2 of them. 16 and 16, that's 32 terabytes. So with 3 16s, I can have 32 terabytes of space available. So that means that any one of those 3 drives can fail, and I won't lose any information. Okay, I just have to go out and get another one and replace it, back it up, or restore it. Okay, so that's what I like about it. It's built-in redundancy. It's not like if I lose 2, then I lose it all. So it's still good to have an off-site backup system, like through Backblaze or something like that. I currently don't, but I'm not. I'm not. You know, if I lose my videos, it's not the end of the world for me. I mean, my videos are on YouTube anyways. Yeah, so that's the way that works. So what I do is I have a MacBook that has 2 terabytes of drive space in it, and I usually have around 1 terabyte free. Okay, so I generally edit off of my MacBook. I will airdrop my video files from this to my MacBook. I don't typically do it with this method that I showed in yesterday's video, although I can. And that's a cheaper alternative to a NAS like this. You could just get a whole bunch of these. This is only 1 terabyte, but you can get a 4 terabyte version of this and just kind of label it, and you can archive all your footage that way. No moving parts. They'll last a long, long, long time. And if you're really worried about backing up, you know, get 2 of these and have 2 copies of everything you back up. Yeah, so that's what I do. So I edit off of my PC, or sorry, my MacBook, and then every so often, maybe once every couple of weeks, I will take my oldest, I don't know, 5 or 10 video files, and I'll move them to the NAS, off of my MacBook and onto the NAS. And I usually have, well, I'll show you if I can here, my projects. Yeah, so if I bring this down, here's my Finder window, all right? Finder, it's called File Manager if you're on a PC. And in fact, when I set my Synology up, it was a PC that I had at the time. Whether it's a PC or a Mac, either way, it'll work. And it's networked, so that's plugged into my network, and my MacBook is plugged into the network as well. So yeah, so these are my most recent videos. That's the one from yesterday. That's the one from last Friday. last Wednesday, and so on. Okay, or Monday. Anyway, so yeah, so I probably like maybe today or tomorrow I might highlight these 3, move them off to the NAS. But as you can see down here, I've got 819 gigabytes free on my MacBook still right now. So there's no rush to move. And each project, you can see how big a project is. Yesterday's video was 15 gigs. That was only a 4-minute video though. This one was, I think, 20 minutes or more, 20 gigs, 20 gigs, 26, and so on. And these are all 4K videos, okay? So yeah, that's a little bit about how I have mine set up. Again, it's not perfect. What I should do is there is software that comes with the Synology NAS where you can have it automatically back up to an off-site location. Like again, I mentioned Backblaze. That's probably the least expensive way to do it. Google Drive. I mean, you could end up spending a ton of money if you used Google Drive or something like that. But because my NAS, I think I have. So what do I have? 16 times 3, because I think I have a 4th one in there. 48. No, I want to say I have 37 terabytes or something. Maybe I have around 20 terabytes available. And there's stuff I can delete off that. All of my freelancing projects that I've ever done are still on there. So yeah. Anyways, if you have any specific questions, let me know. But that's kind of the way I have mine set up. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, no, I think I was just checking to see if there were any follow-up questions for that. Tech for Dad says, my Synology had 2 drives fail within 3 days of each other. I would recommend having a spare always available. If you lose 2 before replacing, you lose your data. I lost 14 terabytes. Ouch, ouch. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I do have one available. I have a spare ready to go. And they were about 4 years old. Okay. HD problem. Yeah, so HDs don't last forever, right? They're like little tiny record players on the inside of, a package, spinning discs. You can get SSDs that'll plug into them, but they're, I think, more than twice the cost. A lot faster, though. All right, let's see what else we got here. Jake and Stella. Hello, Jake and Stella. Peanut says hi. Actually, Peanut's asleep. If you had to give one tip to really gain traction and getting quicker growth, what would it be? That's hard because there's a lot of tips. As you may know, or as a lot of you probably do know, I'm a big believer in putting yourself on camera. If you're doing that, let's assume you're doing that. If you're not, then that's my tip. Start putting yourself in your videos and talk to the camera, even if it's uncomfortable, because quite honestly, people don't mind that. In fact, I think they like it. They like to see a possible train wreck about to happen. You know what I mean? Like my first video that went my only one, I've had a couple, but my biggest viral video from last July, that's the first time I sat down in front of the camera and I basically said, this is new to me. This is the first time I'm trying this. I'm going to do this in one take and I hope everything goes okay. And then I started talking and that video got over 400,000 views. I think it got 100,000 views in a couple of weeks. It just went crazy. People like that. So that's my number one tip. Let's assume now you've already putting yourself in your videos. Then I guess my next tip would be try to engage the audience. Try to get them to comment, ask you questions in the comments below, and then when they do, answer them as quickly as you can. Answer all of your comments. I know that gets hard. Like as you grow, that's going to get harder and harder. And I've spent a couple days sometimes of doing nothing but answering comments when I had a video do really well. But I enjoy it. Sometimes, I have to answer a little quicker than I'd like to. But certainly when you're starting out, answer all your questions, all the comments, and try to get conversations going. Like get in the habit of, in the middle of your video, ask questions and get people to give their answers in the comments below and try to get conversations going. That all also ties into live streaming. That's all kind of part of my overall best strategy that I think works the best, is if you can go live once a week and make yourself available to your audience. They love that. Make yourself available to answer questions, or have a demonstration ready to go and go live. And when you are live, acknowledge the people who come into your live streams. That's all part of it too. And then before you know it, you'll recognize the people when they come into your live streams. You'll recognize people when they comment. You'll start remembering names, and it's just great. And that's what people like. It's about building connection. And I think that is super hard to do if you're not putting your face in your thumbnails, and if you're not getting your name out there. So I like putting your first name in your channel name. That's one thing I really like. Like I did, Rob the Maritimer. My first name's there. So pretty much all of you probably know my name is Rob when you come into this live stream, because my name is right there. Try not to make it hard. If your name is not in your channel name, then get in the habit of saying your name almost right away in every video, and also when you're finishing a video, right? My name is Rob, or say it at the beginning and the end. But I think it's best, say it at the beginning and the end of all your videos, but also put it in your channel name, and then put your face in your avatar as well. That's another thing that I think is kind of important. It's not mandatory. And I talked to somebody yesterday who had their logo as their avatar, which is an entirely normal thing to do. I just feel, though, like if you're going to put yourself in your videos and you want people to start knowing who you are and know your name, then put yourself in your thumbnails, put yourself in your videos, put yourself in your avatar. I suggested to him yesterday, move your logo from your avatar and put it in your channel banner instead, and have your face in your avatar. Again, you don't have to, and there's probably lots of people, well, there are lots of people who don't do that and are very successful. It's just not my way, I guess. And you asked me what I think, that's what I think. My way is not the only way. But I'll tell you what my way is. So I hope that helps, Holly. I hope that helped. Oh, really? DJI increased the Osmo Pocket 3 by $100 in the US? Interesting. I've heard lots of good things about that camera, but I wonder if that's the tariffs. I wonder, because DJI, they'd be manufactured in China, I believe. That might be tariff related. That might be in store for more of that. Tiff made it back. Welcome back, Tiff. Cologne, Germany's here. The Keepers, hello. All right, looking for more questions here. You can't find YouTube Studio? Easiest way to find it, well, if you go to YouTube, go over to the right side and let me see. There's two ways. You can just type in studio.youtube.com in your URL address bar. That'll get you to YouTube Studio. If you go to YouTube, you can click on your avatar up here and scroll down right there, YouTube Studio. That'll open it up. Okay, so that's the other way. Also, you can download the YouTube Studio app to your phone, Android or iPhone. And just know that there are two separate apps. There's the YouTube Studio app and the YouTube app. They're different, okay? YouTube is for watching videos. YouTube Studio is for looking at your analytics and answering comments and things like that. Oh, here's a question. Boomer 6K solo walks. That's a nice walk, 6K. Question for small ladies. My channel is solo walking. I'm walking Mediterranean coast 700 kilometers so far. Awesome, that's great. Can you recommend a light, small tripod? I don't know if this is light enough, but this is the one I use. It's pretty small. and this is what I use when I go on my walks on the trail. I'll walk, I do have to switch hands every once in a while, and there may be something lighter. Gorilla Pod, it's called. I think I have a link to it down below. I like that. But something that might even be lighter, you could look at the Insta360 cameras. They have a little, selfie stick that doesn't matter what angle you hold that at because it's a 360 camera. They're a little more expensive, but I've been looking at those actually. If I get one, I will do a review, perhaps. I've never really done a review video, but I think on my wish list that's the next camera I'd like to get. But yeah, that's a good small tripod. What's my opinion on DaVinci Resolve? I think it's great. I think I have it. I have the paid version because I liked the way it automatically created subtitles, transcripts, and stuff like that. But no, I find it complicated. It's a little harder for people to learn, but it's super powerful. Okay, I personally use Camtasia to edit my videos, but I have used DaVinci. If you want to get more involved into like masking things and color grading in particular, it's really good at color grading. DaVinci, you might want to give that a try. But I mean, you can start with DaVinci and just use the basic tools. The thing is, I find animating things so much easier in Camtasia than anything else I've tried. DaVinci, Premiere Pro, CapCut even. I just find Camtasia just makes it so easy with the animation arrows. You can animate anything. You set the properties at the beginning and at the end, and it'll animate from one to the other. Whereas in DaVinci or Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, those things, you have to create keyframes. And again, you can completely customize it. It just takes a whole lot longer to do. Now, if you can set up presets and templates and all that stuff to help. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I prefer DaVinci over Premiere Pro. I can't really speak to Final Cut Pro because I've never tried it, but in what I've seen, Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro are kind of like the two old granddaddies that people used to use. DaVinci has been taking people from both of those platforms, and a lot of people are using DaVinci. Yeah, I personally think Camtasia is just fine. It doesn't do the super complicated things, but all my videos have been made with Camtasia so far. Question: how many hours does it take from conception to upload one video? Well, depending on how, the video I made on Monday, how to transfer files from the iPhone to a hard drive. I thought that was a question somebody had that I answered Sunday evening. I then recorded it Sunday night and started the edit, and then by Monday morning I had it on YouTube. So, but that's only a 4-minute video. My big viral video from last July, I filmed it on a Thursday afternoon here in the office. I edited it that night and uploaded it, and the next morning I put it out on a Friday morning, and it took off. That was a 25-minute video. But, a video that's a little more complicated might take longer. It depends how much editing you want to do, too. If you leave the edits to a minimum, you can do it a lot quicker. Okay. All right. Northern New England. Would that be Maine? That's not far from here. Just finished a 30 days challenge, posting every day just to have a kickstart to my channel. What a ride it was. Congratulations. Awesome. That's awesome. That's a lot of work too, but I bet you at the end of that 30 days, you can now bang out a video pretty quick, right? So now if you only want to do 3 videos a week, that might seem like a walk in the park to you, right? Whereas some people who have not done that, they might think 3 videos, oh my God, there's no way I could ever do that. But no, good for you. That's awesome. Forcing yourself to level up. Can you show us how to make a thumbnail? What I can do, because I don't have time today, but what I will do is go to my channel. I want to show you, because I have two. If I just type thumb, okay, all right, going to be like that. Let's try that. Thumbnail, there you go, 5-minute thumbnails. I've got a video called 5-minute, well, Canva, make high CTR thumbnails at work. I don't like that title anymore. Anyway, that video there walks you through how I make a thumbnail. And I made that 5 months ago. And then 2 months ago, I made another one, how to boost your colors and brightness. I actually like that video better. Hasn't done as well, but yeah, check that out on my channel, those 2 videos there. And I make mine with Canva, which is a fantastic app, a browser-based. You can just go to canva.com. There's a free version and a paid version. So yeah, that's how I make that. Do I list my materials in my videos? I'm not very good at that. So what I have is I've got a standard description that I've got in my YouTube studio, so that whenever I upload a video, a description's already pre-filled in. And that has a list of a lot of my most commonly used things. So again, if I go back here, let's just go to videos and my last video.
Drive SSD is much better than an H.
There we go. More. So here is my description. Okay. Most of that is standard. It goes into all my videos. The only thing I added to this one was this section up here. Okay. So 1 or 2 sentences on that video, and then I put a link to that Samsung drive that I talked about. Then I've got, links to my free tools. Anybody interested? Links down below. You can download those for free. A link to my homepage where you can look at the courses that I offer. Book a strategy call. And then here, equipment I use and software I use. So these are all links. They're affiliate links. But I don't have if I had everything, the list would be too long. So I just picked the main things. And just so you guys know, if you're interested in becoming an affiliate, if that's part of your plan to grow your channel and to make money from Amazon by recommending products, this is how it works. If you click on any of these links here in my description page, and it'll take you to that page for that thing, okay? Amazon logs that you got there from my link. So now if you buy something, I'll earn a commission. And you don't even have to buy that one thing you clicked. You may then go search for something else and buy something. I'll still make a commission on that. Okay, so it's kind of odd. Like, I think the first commission I ever got was for dog food or something. And I was like, what? I never put a link for dog food there. But yeah, that's what happens. In fact, I'm going to say half of the commission I make is not from stuff that I recommend at all. It's from other stuff that people searched for after they got to Amazon from one of my links. So that's good information to know. So keep that in mind if you want to do that. How much does it cost to hire you for coaching? So I currently, it's $125 an hour. Well, for 50 minutes. I often go to an hour if I don't have another call right after it. But that's now before the mentorship program starts up. If there's a lot of demand for that and that fills up, I may have to raise that price. But for now, that's what it is. And it's going to be that for the next few weeks anyways. Okay. Cute cat, hi Peanut. I have 3 and I'm not sure how or why. They just show up, did they, at your door? That's funny. Cats can be like that. Do your live streams get many views once they've been posted? Yeah, they do. So I will typically get, well, right now I've had 822 views in this one. That's great. That's a lot. Within a couple days, the number of views will double in mine. Everybody's probably different, but yeah, that I am getting a lot. So, well, actually, we can show you. We go back here, go to content, click on live. This lists all the live streams. There's the live one. There it says 480 views, 121 currently live. So people come, people go, right? That happens. And so this one here, last week's 1,298 views. I was probably at 600 or 700 maybe by the time the live stream ended. Okay, so that's so yeah. It usually doubles and then it kind of tails off. So I hope that helped. And let me just recognize Sean for the super chat. Thank you very much, Sean Manaher, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. And has a question. Great content as always, Rob. What camera switcher do you use or recommend? Are they hard to set up? So, okay, I have an A10 Mini Pro. Let me show you. I'll put my camera back on the tripod and then I will press iPhone. So you can't see it, right? You can't see it because I've got it hidden back there. That is the camera switcher I use. It's the A10 Mini Pro. And right now, I don't even use it. It's plugged into it right now, and you can see the number one here is camera number one is selected, which is that camera there. But sometimes I'll have a second Sony camera plugged into it, and that's this one over here. And there's the wire, and you can see it's not plugged in. Okay, so I don't have that one plugged in, but when I do, I can switch back and forth if I just kind of reach here. If I just reach my hand around here, I'd have to press 1 and 2, but I don't typically do that much anymore, which sounds like a waste of money. So I really don't even need that because I use my iPhone as my second camera most of the time, like what I'm doing today, and it doesn't need a switcher, right? So for that, what I do is over here. I use the Stream Deck and I press the iPhone button. Okay, this button just says me. So if I press that button, you see me, and then it's whatever I press back here on the ATEM. Okay, I can toggle back and forth. And that Stream Deck is mapped to scenes that I've set up in Ecamm Live. So that's how I have that set up. Because I don't have that other Sony camera plugged into my ATEM, I could really just be using a cam link, right, and just connect this to my MacBook directly without going into the ATEM. But the ATEM is cool. It allows you to set up to 4 cameras and then toggle between them all. I may do that again. At one point I had 3, I think is the most I ever had hooked up to that. But cameras are expensive too. Yeah, so that's the way I've got that set up. So thank you again for the super chat. Let's see, any other questions? How are we doing for time? With 3:40, is that right? 3:40. We're doing pretty good. Hour and 40 minutes in. Watching from Manitoba. 151 people a minute. Yeah, that was awesome. 127 right now. I think I lost some people when I got too deep into the stats, but hey, that's the way it goes. Are you using Ecamm to do your live stream? Yes, I am. Yep, Ecamm Live, I love it. Question, when we purchase from link below, will you also get compensation for the suggestions? Want to support you. Note, I bought the external hard drive at Amazon with the buy now button. Missed case. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And yes, if you buy anything, if you click any of my links down below, it takes you to Amazon, then whatever you buy, I'll earn a small commission. And just so you guys know, I believe I earn around, it's not a lot, but it's something, it's nice. I'm going to say around $100 to $200 a month. Through Amazon, which is nice. Good to have that set up. Now, some channels focus on that. They'll do reviews of products, right? And the link is a big part of their YouTube strategy, right? That's, if you want to go that route, you can. It's just not. It's just like a small addition. That's kind of the way I treat it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to. how much in advance do you notify you're going live? So what I do is I typically, I'll set up my live stream usually around 10 in the morning. So that's 4 hours before I go live. And then I leave it up to YouTube to let people know. So this morning I set it up, I think it was 9:30 in the morning. I set up the live stream, I scheduled it. And then I also put out that community post that told people I'm going to do 4 lives in the next 9 days. Yeah, so a few hours before. You want to do it at least an hour before, because I think YouTube will send out notifications to people who want them 30 minutes before and 60 minutes before, I believe. Okay. Just looking for, take a quick drink here, looking for some more questions. Sorry, 1 second here. $134 people in here. Awesome. I notice it's starting to climb back up. Just so you guys see what I see. If you're interested, I'll share my screen here. So this is YouTube Studio, the live stream tab, basically. And it shows you a graph of the people in. So right here, I can see there are 135 people watching. You guys can probably see that on the, is it here? If you go to my channel and then go into the live, I'm going to have to hit pause here. Channel, I'll pause it so the audio is, or I'll mute it. You guys can see that here, 137 watching. And then so it's close. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how the chat rate works, 2 per person, I guess, I'm not sure. Total views. And average time that each person spends in here. And then the graph. I love the graph. So you can see how it's going up here. And the chat's coming through here real time, which is cool. I see Lee gifted another 5 memberships. Thank you, Lee. And hopefully you new members can join us in the dock party tomorrow. That'll be fun. That's the dock party number 2. That's the second time I'm going live just for members. So more opportunity to ask questions and have them answered quickly. As you probably know, as you're probably noticing, the questions I'm answering right now were probably asked like half an hour ago. That's just the nature of the way this works. You know, the more people show up here and ask questions, it just takes me a little longer to get to them all. Okay, here's a question. Could you please touch on what to expect from one-on-one coaching on live streaming? Are you still offering those? One-on-one coaching on live streaming. Okay, so I'm going to assume what you're asking is you may be interested in a coaching call with me and you want to learn how to live stream. If that's the case, then yeah, I'll basically answer any questions you have. I can walk you through how I do it. If there's a different software that you want to use, I may or may not be able to help that much, but I can help with StreamYard. I can help with Ecamm, obviously, and OBS I've used. Yeah, any questions you have about, you know, connecting it to your YouTube and stuff like that, I can help with that. So anytime I do a coaching call, it's not like I have something pre-planned that I'm going to coach you on. It doesn't work like that at all. Typically, you would send me some questions ahead of time and let me know what it is you hope to get out of our call together, our time together. Often people will send me their channel URL. That usually helps, so I can have a look at what you've been doing. And sometimes people want some feedback on their thumbnails, on their channel, the overall strategy, stuff like that. So it helps if you can let me know ahead of time. And there's a form that you fill out when you book a call. You can add, you know, a paragraph of information if you want, and let me know what you need help with, and then we go from there. So that's how that works. Okay. Okay, another quick little drink here. How are we doing for time? Are you guys okay? We're coming up on 2 hours, another 15 minutes. I may stick around a little longer. That's no problem. Maybe, let's say 45 minutes to go. I'll stick around another 45 minutes. So at 4:30 my time, 3:30 Eastern, we'll call her quits. Because I got to get back to that video. I have to make a video for tomorrow morning, basically announcing the mentorship program is available. And I'll go through what I went through. I'll show it one more time here before I sign off towards the end for anybody who's interested. I'll just say right now, anybody who's interested in the mentorship program that I am now offering, you can click the link in my description below and it'll take you to this page. I'm not going to go through this whole page now because I've already done it earlier. But yeah, there's an application form. You can read what I'm including, the price, and if you're interested, you can fill that out. And if I think I can help you and we might be a good fit, then the next step would be I'd reach out to you and set up a 10-minute, 15-minute, call it a discovery call, I guess. No obligation or anything like that, and we'll just have a chat. And if at the end of that, I'll answer questions, and if at the end of that you think, you know what, yeah, this is going to work for me, then we can talk about when to start, and I'll send you the link to get started and stuff like that. So if anybody is interested, application form down below. I intend to start going through those probably the end of day tomorrow, because when I put out tomorrow's video that talks more about it and announces it to all my subscribers, there's only 130 or so here of you, but there's 40,000 that are going to get notified, in tomorrow's video. Once those applications start coming in, if I get any, I'll go through them tomorrow night, and then I'll reach out to anybody. I'll reach out to everybody. Some people I don't think it's going to be a good fit, and I'll just say that. But people I think it would be a good fit, then we'll go from there. So any questions about that, let me know. Again, after this is over, you can let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Okay. Oh, here's a good question. What are your thoughts on the 1 out of 10 scaling YouTube uses to assess your latest video against the previous 9? It can be an emotional roller coaster for me, whether it's a 1 or a 10. I hear you. I've been through that. It's kind of funny. I used to obsess over that. And in fact, if I see a 1 out of 10, if all else stays the same and, channels grow, like as time goes on, you get more and more subscribers, typically, right? You keep putting out more videos, you're getting more subscribers. That means every time you put out a new video, there's more people getting notified about it because you have more subscribers. So, all else being equal, every video should be number 1 out of 10, right? But that's not what happens. So, and in fact, that's exactly what did not happen for me with this latest video from yesterday. There you go, 9 out of 10. Okay, we can click on that and you can see, so that's the first 1 day and 6 hours. After 1 day and 6 hours, this video is at 1,200 views. Typical, you can see where the typical is, and you can see where it ranks in the top 10. So number 1 is the one I came out with last Friday, and it's doing well. But yeah, no. What I said before really holds true. You can't be a number 1 out of 10 all the time. And I question whether that even really matters all that much. Like, I feel like, let's put out a couple that I just feel like these videos should be on my channel, like how to transfer files to this drive from a phone, right? That is going to be a useful video on my channel, I feel. So I made it. How to tie a bowline? Not so much. I don't think that's useful on my channel. That was just to prove a point that, if you go outside your niche, this is what's going to happen. And yeah, you can see what happened. If I go here, that's this one right down here. It's number 10, 587 views. Number 9 is 1,200 views. So it did really, really bad. And again, you can click on that and you can go see the video that way. Anyway, I've already gone through that. So yeah, I would not get too hung up on the number 1 out of 10, number whatever. But it is nice. It is nice. Every once in a while, you see that number 1. It's like, oh, okay. Because it does give you an idea as to what your subscribers like. Okay. But a lot of times I have a good feel for what to expect on a video anyways, right? Like if I know, like right now I know most of my subscribers like the videos where I go out on the trail and I walk and I'm talking about a problem that a lot of my subscribers have. If I can find, or if I can identify a problem that a lot of subscribers have, and the way I find those is typically in the comments. You guys will ask me questions and tell me stories about the problems you've been going through. So that gives me all kinds of ideas. So if I come across one that, you know what, this might resonate with a lot of people. Let's come up with a good title for it, and I can talk about this for 10 or 15 minutes and go outside and make a video like that, then I figure there's a pretty good chance it'll do well. But there's other things too. Like if my last 3 videos were all outside walking on the trail, then I also feel like my subscribers like change. So if I've made a whole bunch of videos outside, but I haven't made one in here in quite a while, then I think, you know what, maybe it's time to make another one in here and give you guys a dose of peanut, right? There are people here that like seeing my cat. So I'll make videos in here. But, so I don't go too long without doing a video in here. I don't go too long without doing a video outside. I think all that matters. So just things to think about. But yeah, the number 1 out of 10 scaling, I don't think it's hugely useful. But I get what you're saying. It is an emotional roller coaster for sure. Or it certainly was in the beginning. Now, not so much. It's not as big a deal. But if I see something number 1 out of 10 and it's way above the gray line, that's when I start thinking, okay, like maybe this is going to do really well. Like that's when something can maybe go viral. But I've seen things, do like number 6 out of 10, and then all of a sudden, boom, it goes up and blasts to number 1 out of 10 after a week or 2 weeks even. So there's really no formula. Everything is different, and it's all just a big learning experience. But yeah, don't put too much into those. All right, I'm going to have to start scrolling a little bit quicker, so I apologize if I miss your questions. Okay, here's a question from Francesco. This mentorship sounds really cool. Question, if we monetize our videos, what would the tax implication? Does Google provide a T4 or similar? If this question's been asked, I will watch the replay. No, it hasn't been asked. So this is going to be different depending on where you are. Okay, so I'm in Canada, and our tax, the way we get taxed is, I don't know if it's the same as the States, but kind of similar. Anyways, the way it works for me, no, I don't get a T4. Actually, you mentioned T4. I think that's a Canadian term. I'm in Canada, and that's what they call it. So for those who aren't in Canada, or who don't know what a T4 is, a T4 is something your employer gives you at the end of the year that says how much money you made, how much money you paid in tax. Your employer typically pays your tax for you, or they do their best guess. And then you take that T4 and you fill out your tax return and you send it in to the government, and they'll figure out, did you overpay for tax or did you underpay? If you overpaid, you'll get a refund. If you underpaid, you owe money. So that's what a T4 is. That's given to you by your employer. When you're working on YouTube and making money from YouTube, YouTube is not your employer. YouTube is not my employer. I am basically a business. I'm self-employed, and I use YouTube to make money. Okay, so because of that, because I'm self-employed, it's up to me. Again, this is in Canada, and I believe it's the same in the States. I think it's the same in the UK and Australia. I just don't know if it's the same everywhere. But for me in Canada, if you're self-employed, it is up to me to self-report. But there's two ways you can have a business too. You can have it incorporated, or an LLC, or Inc. in Canada. It's corporation, whatever. Or you can just do it personally. I have an incorporated business, so it's my business that actually earns the money from YouTube, not me personally. But if you do it personally, that's fine too. It'd be you personally earning the money. And then the way it would work is, if you personally are making the money from YouTube, you have to add that onto your tax return when you fill that out and send it into the government. And YouTube doesn't, well, now, it depends on what forms you've filled out. Canada and the US have a relationship, although I think it might be changing a bit, but I don't think it's affected with YouTube or online services. So I was able to fill out a form that says, you know what, I'm Canadian and I do my own taxes, so don't withhold any tax for me. Because if a US company like YouTube withholds tax from me, they do that with the intention of sending it to US tax collection, or which I believe is called the IRS, right? Whereas in Canada, it's called Revenue Canada, or Canada Revenue Agency. So there's no point in them withholding tax and sending it to the IRS, because I don't owe the IRS anything. I'm working in Canada. I owe my tax to Canada, right? So I don't have any tax withheld because I filled out those forms. So you have to fill out those forms. I think it's called the W-8 Ben or something like that. Anyways, and for every country, there's probably a different form. Every country probably has a different deal with companies in the United States like YouTube. Okay, so look up whatever country you're in and figure out what you have to do. So hopefully you don't have any tax withheld. But then it's up to me. I have to pay the tax in Canada. But as a business, you first get to subtract from the money you made. You get to subtract any money you spent to make that money. All right, that's the way a business. That's why it's good to have a business. Like my internet provider, my business pays for internet into this house. My business pays for my vidIQ subscription, my Canva subscription, when my Camtasia, everything, my YouTube Premium, everything that I spend money on, the cameras I buy, the microphones I buy, my laptop, my monitors, lights, everything I buy. I buy those things from my business because I need those things for my business. So I get to subtract from my revenue all these things to lower my profit or loss. And if it goes negative, then you don't owe any tax. And in fact, again, depending on your country, but in Canada, you can carry a loss forward to a future year. So if my net revenue earned this year was negative $1,000, then next year I can start off with negative 1,000 before you know what I mean? So anyways, I apologize if I went too deep with that kind of stuff. And let me just say, and I think I prefaced this, I am not an accountant. I do have a business degree, so that's why I know some of this stuff. I'm not an accountant and I'm not a lawyer, so you should really seek advice from your own accountant on this kind of thing. Because the other thing is too, like again in Canada, and I think it's the same in the States, if you have a large income already, or let's say you have a pension that you have coming in and you're making so much money already, right? If you then do YouTube personally, then any money you make from YouTube gets added on to that personally. And perhaps you're in a higher tax bracket, you'd have to pay tax at a higher rate on your YouTube income. So that's one reason I think it's a good idea to separate any business you do from your personal stuff. Anyways, that's enough of that. I hope that helps. To answer your question, no, Google does not provide a T4 because they are not my employer. They're just a service. Oh, Carrie says, is this Canadian or US dollars? Everything that I show you in my YouTube studio is US dollars. That's the way I have it set up. I know you can change that, but mine is US dollars. And the reason I do that is because I know 50% of the people who watch my videos and live streams are American. They're in the US. And those who aren't in the US, I think only 10% are Canadian. So that leaves another. So that means 90% of people are either American or don't know what the Canadian dollar is. So that's why I don't talk in terms of Canadian dollars. But for those interested, I think the exchange rate is around 1.35, 1.4, something like that. So I would need $1.35 or $1.40 Canadian in order to buy $1 American. And that could be wrong. I don't know what it is now. It had been $1.40 for the longest time. All righty, scrolling. Can I give a quick run through how to use vidIQ? I can show you what I use in the here in this, like when I go to YouTube. For example, if we go to YouTube, and here, let's click on one of Alexa's videos.
Do you want to make money on YouTube fast?
So when you click on a video in YouTube, when you have the vidIQ extension installed, you get all this extra data on the channel. Okay, so I can see here, and I know Alexa. We had a live chat actually. If you want to go back in my live streams, and actually you can find it through the podcast as well. She was the first one that agreed to do that with me, so that was fun. That was 3 or 4 months ago now. Anyways, my point is, you can do a little research. You can use vidIQ to do some research. So I can see her channel has 33.8 thousand subs, 996,000 views, and you can see the graph, how she got there. You can click up here and look at, views and for this video, right? First 24 hours. Actually, that video was only 4 hours ago. So yeah, I love vidIQ for that reason alone. But in terms of going deeper into vidIQ and the keyword research and all that stuff, not going to go through that today, but I'm going to make a video on that. I don't use it. I have used it, just I don't use it religiously, so I don't feel like I know enough about it to show everything about it yet. But I will. Okay. The mentorship is in US dollars, Carrie. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, so that's probably what you were asking about, the mentorship. Yeah. No. It's again. I speak in US dollars just because that's what most of my viewers understand. They understand it a lot more than Canadian dollars. How many shorts should I do per week, and how many long form videos per week? I don't think I can make more than one long per week. So it's really, so the right answer is only do what you can. Do as many as you can comfortably. In other words, try not to burn whatever you can do comfortably long term. Okay, like don't get in the habit of doing, one long form and 5 shorts a week if after 3 weeks you feel burnt out, right? You want to be able to do whatever you can and sustain that, okay? Because being consistent is important, like YouTube notices and your subscribers notice. So that is important to keep, the ball rolling, so to speak. One long form video a week, I think that's fine. If you can do more, do more. But one a week is fine. One every 2 weeks could be fine. I personally like at least one a week. I think if you do less than that, then you're just not going to grow as fast. But again, it really comes down to what you can do comfortably. As far as shorts, again, I don't do many shorts, so I can't speak to. It depends on how much you're going to edit them. Like if you can talk to a camera and make a short and not have to edit it very much at all, do one every day if you can. Again, I don't do any. I've decided my channel is long form. Now I may do some shorts again in the future, maybe even in the near future. I think it's good to have some on your channel just to kind of support. It is another way for people to find you. But really, if I usually say, decide. Are you wanting to make a shorts channel or a long form video channel? and focus on one of those two things. It's just easier, right? It's easier if you just focus on one of those two because they are two. I mean, I know it's video editing in both cases, but they are two very different sets of skills and strategies to make those and to grow channels like that. So yeah, I'd pick your favorite. One long form video a week or 5 shorts a week if you can, or 1 a day, and whatever you prefer to make. Hey Rob, I know you're a huge advocate for older YouTubers to get their start, but to be honest, I wonder if the real struggle is that quite a bit of potential audience people being young and me old. No, I don't believe that's a problem because there's literally billions of people out there. And I mean, younger people have been on YouTube since they were born, basically, right? They grew up on YouTube. Us older folks, it's a little bit newer for us. Like I grew up in the 80s riding bikes. Yeah, I played some video games on Atari and whatever, but you know, for the most part, my childhood was outside, playing outside. And those were the days. And have you guys seen those, what is it? Madonna has a song and they play the beginning of it in like Instagram Reel, or actually TikToks, just kind of reminiscing about the 80s. And yeah, I feel a little nostalgic when I see that kind of stuff because the 80s were fun. But anyways, my point is, even though us older folks didn't grow up with YouTube, we're in it now. And not only that, so percentage-wise, yes, the younger folks, a greater percentage of them are on YouTube than the percentage of older folks that are on YouTube. That is true as well. But if you're an older folk like me, the videos that I make, I'm not targeting the younger people. And does it matter? So maybe there's, I don't know, 1.5 billion people under 30 on YouTube, but maybe only, I don't know, 750 million people over 40 on YouTube. Maybe there's only 500 million people over 40 on YouTube. How many of those millions do you need to watch your channel? My guess is maybe you want to get 100,000, which is a tiny, tiny percentage of those people. So my point is, there are still plenty of people in your age group. Doesn't matter how old you are, even if you're over 80. There's plenty of people in your age group who want to listen to you. There's a lot of people who are in their 60s and 50s who want to watch people in their 80s make videos, right? Because we're all kind of in the same boat. I think once you get up over 40 and beyond, I consider that one big age bracket for YouTube. It's people who are just getting into it, and they're making videos for other people just getting into it, right? So yeah, I don't think that's a problem at all. And I'd say the same thing to somebody who is 90 years old. If they're worried, oh, there's not going to be an audience for me, I'm 90. Well, you know what? I bet you people from 60 and up would love to watch your videos. And there's probably hundreds of millions of people, potential audience. So I hope that helps put some perspective to it. Okay. I recommend Camtasia because I love it, and I have a link to it down below if you're interested. Gives you a discount, but I also recommend DaVinci Resolve. No link down below, but there's a free version. You can do more with it, but it might take you a little longer to learn it. But once you get going, there's huge upside in terms of what you can do with it in the future. So I do like DaVinci Resolve. ChatGPT can make a thumbnail easily. Not that I've ever done. I've only ever used ChatGPT to text and talk and ask questions and get answers in text. I use Canva to make thumbnails. Now, maybe there's some AI tools that'll make AI thumbnails. I'm not a fan of those. I think the best thumbnail in the world, especially if you're going to put yourself in your videos, is a screenshot of you and put some text on it. That's it. And that does not take very long to make if you if you spend a little bit of time at it. Yeah, so that's what I would suggest. Yes, the Insta360 has the option to remove the selfie stick from the video. Yes, it does. If you use their selfie stick, I've watched some videos on this camera. I have been researching it a little bit, and that's pretty cool. But you can also use it as a regular camera too, that is not pointed back at your hand holding the selfie stick, right? You get to decide what of the 360 degrees you want to make your video out of. It looks pretty cool. Hi, Rob. I'm now adding more of myself in videos, practicing on getting more comfortable talking to the camera. Enjoy your channel. Awesome. Congrats, Fran. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Hello, Barb. Late but here. Good to see you here. What happened? My screen just jumped. How are you doing? You guys getting tired yet? Whoops. What did I do there? I don't know where you went, Barb. Lost it. Yeah, Lee making dreams come true. Oh, love the Maritime Not video. Love seeing the other side of you and the personal side. I figured some people might like that, but certainly not a high percentage of all of my subscribers, which, again, I could have predicted that. But it was fun. I could have put it on my other channel, too, Rob by the Sea. Like, that might have made more sense, actually, now that I think about it. How do people find out if they want a free membership? I think you would get notified, or, well, anybody who is a member, a channel member, not only can you participate in the members-only live streams that I do every second Wednesday, tomorrow's the next one, but whenever you make it, write a chat message in, your username will be bold and green, okay? And you'll have that little anchor beside your name. So everyone you see in the chat that has a little anchor and their name is in bold and green, they are channel members. So you would look like that as well if you got one. Question, I'm going to make overlanding films. Is it better to make shorter videos and post more often rather than longer videos not so often? That's something you're going to have to figure out. It's all part of the testing thing. Like, make a longer one and make a shorter one and see how they did. All the same things apply, right? Like your thumbnail and your title are going to basically dictate whether the people are going to click on it or not to watch the video. So you measure that effectiveness with your click-through rate, okay? And then once they get into the video, that's when you need to start delivering on the promise you made with the thumbnail and the title. You know, and if people drop off immediately, then your intro didn't happen quick enough, or something, they didn't get what they expected, or something like that, right? It's important to have the intro fairly tight. Well, I guess, again, it depends on what videos you're making. Overlanding films, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Overlanding. I don't know what that means. Your avatar looks like there's a trail through grassy field or something. So outdoors films. If you want to create an intro that is a little, that might grab some people's attention, a trick I like to use is you go deeper into the video and pick out a couple of clips here and there and put them at the beginning, almost like a quick little montage, like show each little section of a video for 1 second and have maybe 5 or 10 of them. And you can even add the text coming up later or something like that. That might help keep people around. But again, it doesn't matter how long the video is. It's good to reel people in and to keep them watching for as long as you can. So that's only going to come with experience and testing. You know, make some long ones, make some short ones, and see what works best. That's really all I can suggest there. The Stream Deck, you assume you could use that if you use 2 iPhones? That I don't know. Perhaps. But yeah, so the Stream Deck isn't connected to the phone at all. The Stream Deck is connected to my computer, my MacBook, or you can connect it to a PC. And then in the streaming software you use, so in my case, Ecamm Live, I can set up scenes, okay? You can do the same thing in OBS. You can set up scenes. And then what you can do is with the Stream Deck software, you can use that to map buttons on the Stream Deck to certain scenes, okay? So that when you press that button, that scene pops up. If I didn't have the Stream Deck, I would have to use my mouse and click on a scene that I have created called iPhone, which is right there. That's my iPhone one. And there's my main scene. There's my share my screen scene. Okay, so they're all different scenes that I've created and mapped to certain buttons on the Stream Deck. So you can do that with Ecamm Live. You can do it with OBS. It's harder to do with the browser-based ones like StreamYard and Restream and things like that. But super easy on Ecamm Live. So that is how you do that. But 2 iPhones, I don't know. So the question you need to ask yourself is, can you connect 2 iPhones to one MacBook? I don't even know. I only have one iPhone, and it connects to my MacBook, and that's how I set up a scene, right? But I don't know if you can connect 2 iPhones to one MacBook. I'm sure you because it uses my Apple ID, right? So anyways, good question. I don't know. I'll look into that though. Okay, just scrolling, looking for more questions. We're coming, so I got another 10 minutes or so. If anybody has any last minute questions, you can type them in. I'm getting closer to the bottom here. Am I confusing my algorithm by posting different videos from food to visas, customer relationships, etc., when my niche is basically retiree in Philippines? That depends on why your subscribers subscribe to you, is what I'm going to say. If your channel is about all the things having to do with retiring in the Philippines, then yeah, you can try different things like that and just see how they work, right? That's all kind of part of the testing process. If all of your subscribers, if you made nothing but Philippine videos showing scenery the whole time, and your channel is all about Philippines beaches and mountains and whatever, it's all landscape type stuff, and then you hit them with a visa video, that might confuse the algorithm a bit. But the way you need to think about it is, okay, here's my audience. Here's what they typically are interested in. Do I think they'd be interested in visas? If they're if they're on my channel because I'm talking about retiring in the Philippines, maybe as an American or Canadian retiring in the Philippines, then perhaps they'd want to know about a visa. So yeah, try it. And if it doesn't do well, then there's your answer. If it does do well, then there's your answer, and you can make more of them, right? So that's what I would do. Kuru Paul, how you doing, Paul? They do issue a 1099 in the U.S. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so yeah, 1099 I think is similar to a T4 in Canada. So does that mean okay? So that's like a T4. So basically they give you a piece of paper that tells you how much money they paid you and how much tax they withheld. Do they withhold tax? I wonder. Maybe not. Or maybe 1099. That sounds familiar. Maybe that is Canadian. Anyway. Yeah, you may or may not have to do your own taxes with YouTube. I've always thought of YouTube as it's a service I use to generate income. James just said no withholding, just reporting. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So then it is still up to you to to pay your tax. They do not withhold tax. 1099 is USA. Thank you, Tech for Dads. Appreciate that. That's why it's good to have 2 chats going here. Here's where I can pop up your messages, but here's the live. So I need to go over to the live a little more often than I do. What site do I use for thumbnails? I use Canva to make thumbnails. All my thumbnails. I've used Canva for probably 10 years. I love it. all my, not just thumbnails, but channel banners, and avatars, any image that I want to put on my website too. So like all the thumbnails for my course videos, right? All of that stuff I make in Canva. Branding, all my branding stuff as well, I make in Canva. Yep. What do I think about using my cell phone as a webcam? I think that's a great idea. You have the S24, so I think that's a Samsung. I'm not familiar with that. So what I would do is Google how to connect that to your computer, and so that you could use it as a webcam. An iPhone with a MacBook is super easy because they're both Apple and they talk to each other really well. So they make it easy. I'm not as familiar with how you can do that with a Samsung. I'm sure it can be done, though. I'm sure it can be done. And it would be a way better camera, too, than most laptop webcams that come built in. About live streaming, you have a lot of tech gear. How little dollars can it cost to live stream? What is the cost of Ecamm? What would be a minimal gear and cost for live streaming? Okay, so real quick. So again, I'm in the process of making a video on this. I don't know if it'll be ready for Friday. It might be Monday. But for live streaming, so Ecamm is $20 a month. Okay, if you don't need the interviewing other people Zoom integration, if you don't need that, it's $20 a month. So there's that. Now, that's really all you need if you live stream from a computer. I mean, you could live stream from your phone, just directly from YouTube, and if you already have a phone, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay, you could do that. But if you want to live stream and have a couple, the way I suggest, like minimal live streaming to me, if you're doing it at a computer, I would like to have one extra monitor, right? So I've got my MacBook and then one more monitor. I have two, you don't need two, just one more monitor. That way you can have Ecamm on one monitor and then your other monitor can be the one that you share, right? That's if you want to share something, if you want to share your screen with people. If you don't need to do that, then you don't need any other monitor. You could just use the one. So your computer, Ecamm, then you need a camera and a microphone. Okay, so now we're getting into quality. You could use your webcam that comes with most laptops, or if you have a webcam, just use that. That's fine. And laptops have a mic as well. Not usually that good. So now we're talking quality. So if you want to increase your quality of your picture and your audio, now you're talking about spending some extra money. So camera, like we talked about, iPhone is a way better camera than the MacBook's webcam, but you can also get some really good external webcams, like the Logitech Brio, I think it's called, is a good one. I think it's $100 or $200, something like that. Then you want to talk about microphones. You can get microphones that just plug in via USB-C, like the Blue Yeti microphone would be fine. Or you can get, if you feel like you want to get up and walk around, and you don't want to have, and you want people to still hear you, you probably can't walk around with a big microphone like that. That's when you can look at a wireless system like this. That's a little bit pricey. It's like $200 to $300 for this US DJI mic. But then, yeah, you could walk 800 feet away if you wanted to. And then, so that's camera, mic, Ecamm. That's it. That's all you need. But again, there's so many different ways you could do this. The camera I'm using is a DSLR camera, a Sony ZV-E10 with a decent lens on it. That's probably, I'm going to say $1,500 for the camera and the lens. I've got a $300 microphone, no, $200 microphone up here. It's plugged into a $200 audio interface that plugs into my computer. So you can, but it sounds good. I mean, this mic here with this audio interface, that's what I use for these live streams and all the videos I make in this office. But yeah, do you need it? No. It's just a quality thing. And the more money you spend on quality, there's like diminishing returns, right? Like if you spend $100 to upgrade your webcam to an external webcam, that's a huge difference from the webcam in your MacBook. but then $100 to $500, the incremental increase in quality is not as much. Okay, if that makes sense. So anyway, that'll give you a little bit of an idea on pricing. Just looking at the time here, I don't have much time left, so let me just scroll. See if I missed any. Oh, I saw all caps, but that's Lee. Friendly reminder, please, before you leave, please go hit the like button on Rob's video. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lee. Biggest supporter right there. Okay, so here is a question. Hello, sir. How do you generate search engine optimized texts for your thumbnails and titles for your videos? ChatGPT is what I use. I will do research on YouTube. I will look for, topics that are trending, or I'll come up with an idea for a video based on the comments that I get from you guys, or based on another video I made. And I just think, a logical next step is another type of video. Once I get an idea, I open ChatGPT and I ask questions. I said, this is what I think I want to make, and I'll describe the video. Please give me 10 ideas for for titles. And it'll give me, and then I might say, these are great titles, but, I'd prefer something a little, that I think would be better for click-through rate. For example, it'll give me more. Once I settle on a title, I'll then ask ChatGPT, can you give me 5 possibilities for text to put in the thumbnail that's maximum 2 to 3 words? And it'll give me choices. And I just go back and forth with questions like that until I'm happy with it. So that's what I do. That's how I do it. And so hopefully that helps. I love ChatGPT. It's open on my computer all the time. I use it all the time. Even when people ask me questions in the comments of my videos that I don't know the answer to, that happens, I use ChatGPT and I'll ask. I used to have to go to Google and just search for answers and stuff, and which is good, you learn. But now, ChatGPT, I'll ask there, and that's usually where I start. So I hope that helps. I just see a question up a little further that I missed. Are you or have you made a video on how to live stream? I am in the process of making one. So that's going to be out Friday or Monday. That's the plan right now, how to live stream. And I'm going to give options, but I'm going to unplug from this workstation and I'm going to set it up on a desk and just make it look super simple because I don't want to overwhelm people, because you don't need as much gear as I have to live stream at all. So I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible and then give options. How can we get more people in your group and have them engaged? I guess you're talking about in your videos, like in the comment section. You have to ask them questions. Ask questions in your videos. Encourage people to comment and leave comments below. Ask them specific questions, and or tell people, why don't you tell me about your experience with this in the comments below? Like, every chance you get, try to get in the habit of once or twice in each video, try to get people to comment below, and then you have to answer. You have to answer. Be nice, be cordial, and all that, and helpful. Be helpful. That's the number one thing. Be helpful, and people will come back for more. So that's kind of the motto I live by. The more I can help people, the more people will come back, and then who knows? At some point in the future, they may turn into paying clients, right? Through coaching or the mentorship program or a course or whatever. But even if they don't, if they like the videos that I make, that's all part of it too. I make videos, put them on YouTube. That brings in leads for perhaps other things that I have on offer. But if nobody's interested, or if those people aren't interested in those things, well, they've watched my videos, we've interacted. All that helps my videos grow and my channel grow. And then there's always the income you get from YouTube AdSense from that. So that's all part of it. Question, you missed my question. I'm sorry, Caroline. I don't know how I'm going to find it though. Can you ask it again? And I'll answer you. If you can answer it, if you can ask it here, if you can answer. So I'm kind of at I probably missed a lot. I'm sorry. I had to scroll faster to go through things, but oh, here we go. Can you provide ChatGPT generated documents to your subscribers? I guess the answer is yes, but when you say documents, so are you talking about giving things away for free? You want to create something like maybe a PDF, a pamphlet, or a checklist or something like that. Create something and you want to use ChatGPT to make that for you and then provide that or even sell that. I guess the answer is yes, but I'd be careful. Like I would want to put your own spin on it. Like for example, I have a checklist down below that you can click and download for free. And I used ChatGPT's help in making that. Okay, so I used it to come up with the, the overall outline. And that was when I made the YouTube starter course that I made back 6-7 months ago. I made the two at the same time. And the checklist is basically a condensed version of what that course includes. Only the course is 37 videos. It's a lot more involved. But I use ChatGPT to help me with the overall titles. But I didn't just use that. I also put some thought into it. I inserted some of my own. I did not use all of them. I reworded some things. You know what I mean? So I'd be careful in using it without checking the results and without kind of adding your own spin to things. Because then it's not really yours, I guess. So anyways, I hope that helps. Just see other questions here. Okay, so Kunal Tawari Photography. Sorry if you answered my question earlier, but could I please know how you process your audio after it has been recorded? So what I do, I don't have time to go through all that today. It is in my starter course. I went through it in one of the videos there, but I use Adobe Audition. Okay, I use Adobe Audition to record my audio when I'm here. I open up Audition and this mic goes through the audio and gets recorded in Adobe Audition. And then I put it through some processes like a noise gate, compression, equalizer, and a bunch of things to make the voice sound just a little bit better. What you're hearing here is not processed at all. This is directly from this mic and this audio interface. But when I make a video, I process the audio. When I make a video outside even with this mic, the DJI mic, I also process that audio just to make it sound a little bit better. Adobe Audition. You can also do it with Audacity. That's a free, what do you call them? DAW? Digital Audio Workstation? I think that's what that stands for, DAW. Audacity's free, and it does what Audition does. It's just that I've had Audition for quite a long time and I got used to it. But yeah, that is what I use. What is the difference, briefly, between your coaching and mentorship? Plug for you. Yes, thanks for the plug. I will throw that screen up while I answer this. So the short answer is there's not a lot of difference in that it's still a Zoom call. Coaching is a Zoom call. I set up like when you book a coaching call, you'll be set up with a Zoom link. And when the time comes, we both get in that Zoom meeting and we have a chat. And at the end of every chat, and I help you with whatever you want help with, you'll be sent automatically, actually, AI-generated Fathom.video, if anybody's interested, notes, a summary of and a recording of the coaching call. Okay. Now the mentorship program, on the surface, it just looks like, yeah, that's just 8 of those coaching calls, but you're charging more for them. It works out to $200 per call instead of $150 or $125 now, but it's going to go up. But anyways, it is more, but it's more of a continual thing. At the end of each call, I'm going to give you homework, probably in the call, but then I'll follow that up with something written for you. But it also includes you reaching out to me whenever you have questions in that 2-week period between coaching calls, right? If you make a video, send it to me. I will review it for you. I'll give you my feedback on it. So unlimited number of video reviews during that time. Unlimited DMs. You can message me directly between calls, and I'll answer you usually same day, but so we'll see once it gets going. But officially, I kind of wrote down, I'll answer you within 24 hours. Well, in most cases, I'm going to answer you a lot sooner than that. Just depends on when it comes in. So I can't say 8 hours, right? So there's that. What else did I write down? Just so here it is, what's included. So all the calls, a custom strategy. So basically, I will refer to my notes before each additional call, and we'll go through. So in call number 2, we'll go through how did things go since our last call. Did you work on this, this, and that? And how did things go? And what do you need help with now? And you know what I mean? So. And we're going to build a strategy, and we're going to try to have you go through the steps necessary to reach the goals that you want to reach, whether it's, creating a business model, whatever it is. So yeah, that's the main thing. So I guess the things over and above a regular coaching call would be messaging between calls and video reviews between calls as well. So yeah. I hope that helps. Hope that answered your question. A little more than just briefly, though. You usually get a 1099 if you make $600 or more. Okay, very good. I didn't know that. Your question will not be answered today. I apologize if I missed. Oh, I think you asked about the process the audio. So I hope I answered that. We're not going through Adobe Audition because it's quite involved, but I hope that helped somewhat. And yes, DaVinci Resolve does have some audio processing built right in. It certainly does. Question, why do other channels offer free newsletters when not actually selling anything? And just real quick. Hi, Marv. How you doing? Alan, why do other channels offer free newsletters when they don't actually sell anything? Good question. Probably because they're going to at some point in the future. Okay? Or it's just another way to kind of grow their channel and their presence online. Like some people like getting newsletters and to be reminded when there's a live stream coming up or when you've posted videos. I suppose it's something I could be doing. It's just that I've already got too much on my plate. But yeah, maybe because I do collect email addresses, right? Anytime any of you download any of the free things that I offer in the description below, the checklist, the spreadsheet, those things, your email address gets put into a database in my Kajabi. And so then I could have a newsletter set up that goes out automatically to everybody in my mailing list, or not automatically, I'd have to write it first. But some people, you can set up funnels so that you automatically get emails. But you asked about newsletters. I could come out with a newsletter every week that kind of summarizes the videos I came out with that week and maybe even give some more helpful tips. And it's just more advertising, really. Some people don't like to get a lot of email. I'm one of those. I don't love getting a lot of email. So I guess that's probably why I have not gone the newsletter route. I don't write a newsletter. For me, I feel like the live streams that I do is enough to kind of bridge any gap so that, if I make 1, 2, or 3 videos a week, plus do a live stream a week, 2 live streams every 2 weeks, that's a lot of me in your face, right? You probably don't also need a newsletter. I like the community posts thing in YouTube that if I feel like I've got something I want to get out and say to people, I could use the posts thing to do that. But now that I've released this mentorship program, okay, once I have the announcement video created that I want to put out tomorrow morning, once that's done, then what was I going to say? I will send out an email to my emailing list to let everybody know that I'm now offering that. okay? Because I think I've got over 1,000 people in that emailing list now. So why not? That's why. So, but I don't send an email out all the time. It's only when I come up with something new to share. Okay, so, but that's why. Probably because people want to be selling you something in the future, or to at least keep letting you know that they exist so you don't forget them. So, yeah, that is why. So, you know what? It's 20 to 5 here in Halifax. I think I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping in. Again, if anybody is interested in the new mentorship program, there's a link down below where you can read more about it. And if you are still interested, once you read more about it, there's an application form at the bottom of that page. And in the next couple of days, I'll be going through application forms. And hopefully there's a few people who want to go through that. And yeah, that'll be something new for me. I'm calling it a beta system because if it's a success, I'm going to offer it on an ongoing basis. The price will never be as low as it is right now. So there's a little bit of a incentive to get in now if you're interested. Because in the future, if everything goes the way I want it to, I'm hoping to get some really good testimonials out of the first people that go through this. That's why I want to make darn sure that the people that go through this the first time, that they are successful with it, or at least on their way to being successful and happy with the service that they get. So that is my goal with this first test group of people. Yeah, I'll be ready to start next week if anybody is ready to start that soon. There you go. So thanks again for stopping in today. For you that are channel members, I'll be back live tomorrow at same time, so 1 o'clock Eastern time. 2 o'clock here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, for Dock Party number 2. So that is live streams for members. Far fewer people in those live streams, so therefore way more chance that I won't miss your questions. All right, so thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next live stream. So next week, 2 live streams. One on Tuesday, the regular one, but the one on Wednesday is going to be, I'm going to have my son Liam join me on Zoom, and we can compare notes. He live streams on Twitch. He's getting into YouTube. He's a software developer, and he's got different views on things. He's got a 26-year-old's view on live streaming and YouTubing and all that stuff, and I've got a 56-year-old view on it. So that'll be fun. So if you're interested in that, next Wednesday. All right. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you in the next video or live stream.